From the EV Geek Studios, welcome back to the EV Geek Podcast. We are your hosts, Joel and Sebastian, and today is a special one because it's Awards Day. That's right. After a full year of test drives, deep tech dives, charging curves, range tests, surprises, disappointments, and a few late night arguments in the studio, which of course I always win, we're finally ready to crown the best electric vehicles of 2025. We're talking best value EV, best EV truck, best charging performance, best family EV, best luxury EV, most improved, and of course, the one EV that earns the title EV Geek Studios 2025 EV of the Year. So buckle up, plug in, and get ready because the EV world delivered some serious contenders this year, and we've got the data, the opinions, and yes, maybe a few hot takes. This is the EV Geek Studios 2025 EV Awards. Let's get into it. All right, let's get this party started. As you can see, Sebastian and I are dressed for the occasion with our tuxedo shirts on. For you in the audio podcast, Sebastian is sporting a black tuxedo shirt. I am sporting a white tuxedo shirt. So we're dressed to the nine. Sebastian also has a crown. I guess he's going to put on, off and on during this broadcast too, because I guess he's a princess. We don't know, or a king, whatever he's going by. All right. So Sebastian, let's get started with our first category.
Well, hold on. Before we even get to categories, we got to talk about what this is.
What is it, Sebastian?
Well, actually, we're going to what are the categories? I forgot what order my slideshow was in. Sorry.
There you go.
So our first category, as you mentioned, best value EV, best EV truck, best charging EV, best family EV, best luxury EV, most improved, and the coveted EV of the year. Here's our qualifiers. It's only cars that we drove, and obviously they're vehicles that stood out to us. And so if you see a category on here, you think, if this car would have been good on it, there's a fair chance that we didn't get to drive it. We can't score things we didn't drive. So if you want to, if you see this and you want to be considered next year, I got to drive your car, man. Anyway, continuing on.
But also, we've driven a lot of cars, so there's not a lot that are left out. So we've driven almost every American manufactured EV out there for the most part. So, all right, best value EV. Start us off, Sebastian, with our first category.
Yeah. So for best value EV, these are nominees. The Equinox EV. So the 2025 Chevrolet Equinox EV is a pretty obvious strong contender for best value with a starting MSRP of $35,000 and a base range of 319 miles. And for most of 2025 was available with the $7,500 federal tax credit, making it start at $27,500.
Mm-hmm.
Up next, we have the newly redesigned Tesla Model Y, which fixes several issues that we had with the original car, such as its god-awful suspension, has a range of up to 357 miles, has plenty of juice to get you where you need to go. This car does have the highest starting MSRP on the list. The premium model that we have driven starts at $45,000, but it also does so much right that you could argue that it's well worth the price. The Mustang Mach-E. So the Mustang Mach-E is a pretty attractive entry into the electric crossover space. It's been continually refined each model year, and for 2025, it started at $37,995. However, only delivers at that price an EPA range of 260 miles. That said, it is one of the cooler-looking cars in this lineup, and has a pretty decent selection of standard options. And finally, the Chevrolet Bolt. So this was a pretty sudden just a sudden reemergence for the car. This was announced this year. We did get a chance to drive it. It has an expected starting price of $28,995, which undercuts basically everything else on sale right now in the US, while still offering 255 miles of range and charge speeds that are supposed to be 3 times faster than the outgoing car.
Great nominees. All these cars were great. Love the Equinox. That was probably my most surprised one of the year. Tesla Model Y, that's expected. Huge improvements on that. We just recently drove that. The The Mustang Mach-E, they're continuing to make small little improvements on that, but it's still actually it's their flagship model now. And then of course the Chevy
It's their
Bolt,
only
which
one.
was is their only one. Yeah, their flagship and only one. And the Chevy Bolt, they've made some improvements while keeping the price down.
Yeah. All right. It's time. The best value EV of the year goes to the Equinox EV.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this one really, it just kind of comes down to 35 grand for a car with over 300 miles of range. And while the base model might not have all the bells and whistles, it also can be optioned however in the world you want it. The Model Y probably would have been a pretty close runner up on this because for what the price is, yes, it is more expensive. However, you get basically everything at that price. The Mustang Mach-E, while a solid contender, I just, the lower DC fast charge rate, the low range, they do nickel and dime you some on random options. As good as the car as it is, and it's a great car, don't get me wrong, I don't see it actually winning in this category. And the Bolt EV maybe would have won this if it was actually on sale right now, just to be completely clear. I threw it on there because we did drive it, and as long as it does come in at what GM is claiming it's going to come in at, I see this will take the category for probably every year it's on sale until something better comes around. But because you can't currently get one, I can't give it the award. Or at least I didn't feel like we could.
Yeah, totally agree. My thing about the Equinox EV is that if you're transitioning from a gas vehicle to an EV, not only is it a great value, but it's going to be an easy transition for you because it's going to be similar how it drives, how it operates. It's going to be very similar to a gas-powered Equinox or just a gas-powered car in general. So yeah, Equinox is great. And for what you get at that price, at a starting price, especially when you had tax credits, I mean, it's a great value for the price that you get it at. So totally agree with all what you said. Best value EV,
and that's
Chevy Equinox.
And again, the Model Y probably would have been a lot stronger contender on this if the premium trim, for example, was even $5,000 less. If it was 40 grand, right? That would have been a much harder to look. But because it's not, that's kind of where we're at. The Equinox is a great car. This is not to undermine the Equinox, just to put out there kind of how we landed it.
Totally agree. Next category. All right. So next up, our favorite best electric truck. And we drove some great electric trucks this year. Let's check out those nominees. We almost all, I think we drove all of them. Yeah.
I think we did.
I think we drove every single electric EV out there. Let's look at the nominees. Meet the nominees for best electric truck. First up, we have the Rivian R1T. Love it. The Rivian R1T markets itself as being the ultimate truck for those who like adventure. It's like the Jeep Wrangler of trucks. And honestly, it succeeds that goal. The base 2025 R1T has a range of 270 miles and starts at around 72.9, and it can be configured 3 different powertrains with 3 different battery sizes. You have the single, you have the dual motor, the tri-motor, and the quad. Is that correct, Sebastian?
Yeah, and then standard pack,
standard pack, gotcha.
Large pack, and max pack.
Gotcha. All right, next nominee. The GMC Sierra EV Denali's. This is the big boy. This is the big boy. So the GMC EV and its sibling, because they're sisters or brothers, the Silverado EV, have nothing in common with the gas models of the same name. They just have the same name with the word EV beside it. You also won't find bigger battery specs anywhere else on the market. If you need a truck for towing, this was it. But you do have to pay for them because that's where the cost is. The 2025 Sierra EV Denali starts at $91K and be configured with up to 225 kilowatt hour battery, which gets an astounding 460 miles of range. Next, the Ford F-150 Lightning. So the Ford F-150 Lightning takes everything that's great about the regular F-150 and makes it electric. If you like a truck and just want an electric version of it, that's the Ford F-150 Lightning, basically. While its driving range may leave something to be desired, it brings a familiar face and loads of capability into the category. The Lightning starts at $55K, so it's one of the cheaper ones in our group here, with a base range of only 240 miles that's not good for towing. Capable of up to 320 miles with an optional extended battery. And our final nominee for Best Electric Truck is the Tesla Cybertruck. The Tesla Cybertruck is a real hot button topic, very polarizing. Some like it, some don't. And has a very diverse look to it too. Does not look like a truck. It looks like Sebastian would say a trash can on wheels or dumpster wheels. But looks aside, it does offer the longest bed of the bunch, big bed size, Tesla's excellent software, and has that minimalistic cabin, basically just a screen and a steering wheel, and that's about it. And of course, you have that great FSD as well. The Tesla Cybertruck currently starts at $79,900 and delivers 320 miles of EPA range. Those are the nominees. And the winner is, for Best Electric Truck, that is right, the Rivian R1T. So great truck all around. I mean, if you think pros and cons of all truck, this kind of has all the pros. You know, it has that off-road capability, has great range, has really good software, decent pricing compared to all the other EV trucks out there, kind of sits right in the middle, maybe towards the upper end. But yeah, it's just a great truck, drives great, really comfortable. Sebastian, your thoughts?
Yeah, so I mean, again, all of the nominees that we just listed were all pretty dang solid trucks, right? You know, the Lightning is just an F-150 that's electric. And the F-150 is America's best-selling truck for a reason. The Silverado or the Sierra EV, which we did specifically with Denali, is expensive, but that's the only way you're going to get that gigantic battery and that gigantic range, which means you can tow with it and go a decent distance. It means there is no range anxiety. There is no, none of that stuff. And at the end of the day, you still have a good sized truck bed. You still have a crew cab pickup truck with a gigantic interior. That said, I kind of disqualified it a little bit just because price, right? It's like, yes, I understand why it's $91,000, but it's still $91,000.
Yep.
But on that same token, the Lightning starts off cheaper than the R1T, but that base Lightning is not near as nice as the R1T is. You don't get all your creature comforts that you would get on, say, the R1T. And the Cybertruck, I mean, other than its divisive looks, is a solid truck. It has a good bedside. It has, largest bed in the bunch. It has good towing capacity. Although the battery size is not amazing for towing, it has a similar size pack to the big battery Lightning, and similar range figures to the big battery Lightning. That said, you get your typical Tesla interior. A lot of people love them. You get excellent software, you get excellent support, you get, all that jazz. But really, the R1T kind of you said it pretty well. It's the Wrangler, it's the Jeep Wrangler of electric pickup trucks.
It is.
In the sense of it kind of does everything you want it to. Like, it's got a smaller cab, but it's much nicer. It's, a well-built machine. It's a nice interior. It's a nice packaging. You have enough truck bed for what most people do truck stuff with. And again, this is our awards. This is subjective a little bit. This is the truck that you and I would buy.
Yes.
If we had a blank check and all four of these in front of us, I'm pretty confident you and I would both buy the R1T.
I would 100% buy the R1T.
Without even really any second guess.
Yep. I mean, the Denali would probably cross my mind into it, but that's just a lot of truck. I don't know if I need, for me, that much truck. And if we had to give an award for best value electric truck, then yes, the base for F-150 Lightning would have won that award, because for base, that's not a bad truck.
Right.
All right, next up, Sebastian.
Best charging. So this category is pretty objective. There's not a lot of room for opinion in this. So let's see what our nominees were. I don't know why my pictures aren't showing up. Anyway, we're going to ignore that. The 2025 Porsche Taycan. Taycan? I never remember. The 2025 Porsche Taycan is a charging monster, pulling over 300 kilowatts until 60% before then gradually pulling that charge speed down. Insane. The 2025 Tesla Model 3. Hear me out. So the refreshed Model 3 Highland may not have the best charge speed on paper, but it makes up for it by being crazy efficient. So using some out of spec data on this, just kind of as a frame of reference, it is 70 mile an hour range test. The car averaged 4.7 miles per kilowatt hour, which is insane. So while you may not be
Stupid
charging
efficient.
as fast, you're getting almost, I mean, in some cases, almost double what other EVs get at 70 miles an hour.
Yep.
You know, anecdotal, my Ioniq 5 averages like 3 miles per kilowatt hour at 70 miles
Yep.
an hour. You know, and you're talking an almost extra 2 miles for every kilowatt hour you add, which leads us to our third nominee, the 2025 Ioniq 5 and EV6. So EGMP twins have long been some of the best charging EVs on the market, and in 2025, the pair got a new, larger battery pack along with a slightly higher DC fast charge peak of 256 kilowatts. These cars can charge from 10 to 80 in as little as 20 minutes, despite having a larger 85 kilowatt hour battery pack. All right. And because this, again, was a pretty objective, not really room for opinion, the best charging EV is the Porsche Taycan. Because, I mean, it's hard to beat 300 kilowatts from 0 to 60%. I mean, you just...
It just cooks. It just cooks. I mean,
It might
and
cook the
Porsche
battery.
got this
I don't
right
know, but it
from
cooks.
yeah, and Porsche got this right from the beginning. Like they came
Yeah.
out of the box with a car that looked on paper. EPA was low on this car when it first came out.
Or at least the initial ones. Yeah.
Initial ones, but then they did testing. But we saw tests from like out of spec and people like that. Cal, and it actually exceeded that EPA range tested. So like, okay, we're exceeding the EPA range, and now we're getting stupid charge speeds out of it. So yeah, it's a beast. It's a beast on the road, and it's a beast to charge.
Yeah.
All right. Next up,
to take a break from awards real quick.
Yes, it's the sadder part of our program. It's the in memoriam. And this is where we honor the EVs that unfortunately we lost this year in the US.
And won't be coming back for 2026.
We're going to raise a glass to them, and we're going to honor these EVs. First one.
I had to find my glass. Sorry.
You need a glass of water. I have an empty cup over here. Unfortunately, in loving memory of the Nissan Ariya, this was 2022 to 2025, U.S. market only. Yeah, this is sad, but not unexpected to see.
You unfortunately have never driven an Ariya. I drove one once.
Yep.
On the Circuit of the Americas.
For 10 minutes. I was a passenger in one, but sad times for the Ariya. Sad times for the Ariya.
Yeah, not a huge surprise. Didn't seem to sell super well unless it was on a super cheap lease deal type situation. Not surprised to see that they are discontinuing it in the U.S. market only. It seems to do decently okay overseas.
Yes.
Moving on.
Next up, in memory of the Acura ZDX. This only lasted 2 model years, 24 and 25. So this was one of the ones that was kind of built on the Chevy platform. Is that correct, Sebastian?
Yeah, this is a Acura Cadillac Lyriq.
Yep. Acura decided it wasn't going to stick too long with it, and this year decided to say, so long, farewell.
It's a bit of a weird car. Looks like a hearse, which it now rolls off in the hearse.
Yes.
Moving on.
Finally.
Nope, not finally.
The Chevy, not finally. The Chevy Bright Drop. So this had a bright future. We thought it was going to be one of the first EV vans out there, highly publicized by Chevy, but they decided this year, after 2 or 3 years, 3 years, 4 years, that they were going to discontinue the Bright Drop as part of their EV shakeup. So
yeah, it's had so much potential, had a pretty bright future, and Chevrolet decided to drop it.
They decided to get rid of it.
Is this a bad is it bad taste to do puns during the in memoriam? I'm sorry.
It's okay.
This was honestly more of a political This was more of a political loss than anything. They were building these in Canada, and for some reason we have a trade war going with Canada. So
our best friend we have a trade war with. Yes.
Yep. Moving on.
This one was late. This one left us not too long ago, and that is the Ford F-150 Lightning. So, yep, Ford made that just random announcement that they were getting rid of the all-electric version of the Lightning and coming back with an E-Rev version. But time will tell to see if that actually comes to birth. But we were sad to see the Lightning go. It was one of the first, trucks out there. It was one of the first EVs from Ford, and now no longer.
Yeah, and it's a shame because the Lightning is an excellent vehicle.
It is.
But we'll see who's right in the end.
Yep. One less truck that makes our best EV truck category next year. And one that not too surprised with, because I don't ever see any of these on the roads. It is the Genesis electrified G80. And
they sold like less than 1,000 almost every year it was here. Wasn't a bad car from what I understand. Nope. Never actually drove one, but from what I understand, wasn't a bad car. Had a pretty solid powertrain, seemed to ride pretty well, had decent range, had good charging, but full-size luxury sedan market's just not what it used to be.
No, it is not. And then we have the Polestar 2, which is US only. Correct? Is this everywhere, Sebastian?
US only.
US only. So Polestar 2 was good. I mean, it was a good car. We drove it.
And this was a tariff victim.
Yep, victim of the tariffs. So 3 years, it had a good run, solid car. So long, Polestar 2.
So long. So long to our little Swedish friend.
You will be remembered. You will be remembered.
Moving on.
All right.
It's time for our best family EV.
Take it away, Sebastian.
Our nominees are. I really wish I knew why my pictures weren't coming up. Anyway.
Yeah, some are, some aren't. We have
the Kia EV9. The Kia EV9 is essentially what would happen if you took Kia's very popular Telluride and made it electric. It has decent range, fast charging, the boxy look that people seem to love, and it's loved so much that Joel bought one.
It did not sway our opinion.
The Hyundai Ioniq 9. So the Ioniq 9 is Hyundai's edition of the Kia EV9 and Hyundai's take on a three-row SUV. It shares the guts of the EV9, but I would argue has a swankier interior and some rather controversial exterior styling.
Speaking of hearse.
The Volkswagen ID Buzz. So A, you will not find an electric vehicle that turns heads like the ID Buzz does. You'll also not find an electric vehicle with more interior space than the ID Buzz. Unfortunately, the ID Buzz has very short range. But it makes up for that some by being jam-packed with features and tech and being a comfortable ride. And again, it's just such a joy to look at.
Yes. And this almost made our in memoriam, but
almost. But Volkswagen
is only
said, wait, maybe
pausing
not.
it. They're only going to pause it for 2026. Pause. So, on life support.
Moving on.
Yep.
The Rivian R1S. So, if you will remember earlier when I was talking about the R1T, all of that applies to the R1S as well. You're just trading your truck bed for a third row.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All great nominees. Great nominees this year.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
This was probably the toughest one to pick.
Family EV. It was pretty tough, yeah.
Yeah.
Went to the Kia EV9.
Yay.
So, I mean, again, this honestly had I did this slide. This was me. And this had no real basis on the fact that Joel bought one. This is just, I was really stuck between the Ioniq 9 and the EV9. And for me, it just came down to looks.
Yeah.
And I think if you go back and look at our video when we reviewed the Ioniq 9, I said that I wanted an EV9 or I wanted a car that had the Ioniq 9's interior and the EV9's exterior.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately I ended up just saying that the exterior looks were more important to me than the swankier interior. And that's why I chose the EV9.
Yeah, totally. I think third row wise too, I believe the EV9 is a little bit better in the third row than the Rivian R1S is. I just feel like when we drove it that there was a little more room back there in the EV9. But yeah, solid. I mean, they upgraded the new, they have the new software in the newer EV9s that came out in 2025. But yeah, it's It's a solid family EV, not too pricey. I mean, you can find them in the 50s, which is a price you're
starting
going to
out,
get
they're not bad. I mean, they
Yeah.
can get expensive, but they're
Yeah.
not bad. And this is one of those situations where the conversation would be very different if the ID Buzz had a larger battery.
Yep. If it got over 300 miles of range,
the ID Buzz, if it got even 260, 270 miles of range, I think if it got just like an extra 50 miles of range, it probably would have swept this category, no question. Because you won't find a vehicle with more space than the ID Buzz, and it has all the driver's assistance features. It has a pretty nice interior. Like it just falls short on range in the US. I mean, that's really all it is. All it is.
Totally agree. All right, next category, best luxury EV for all those people out there with those deep pockets. Here are your nominees.
Tuxedo t-shirts.
Wear tuxedo t-shirts and drink water. All right. And the nominees are for best luxury EV. First up, we have the Cadillac Escalade IQ. So the Escalade IQ is over the top, 225 kilowatt. Remember those big batteries we talked about in the Sierras? Yeah, you find them in the IQs. 465 miles of range, starting price of $127,000. I believe the one me Sebastian drove was over $150,000.
It was like 160 something, yeah.
Yeah, but you'll be hard pressed to find another car that embodies the spirit of the American land yacht. This thing just screams luxury, bulletproof windows if you ever needed it. Yes.
It's not actually bulletproof unless
bulletproof unless you want it to be, but it screams that. Next up, the Volvo EX90. So it's a 3-row electric SUV. Almost made our best family EV. Has all the features that you expect with an $80,000 starting price. Also, this might have the best sound system of any car we had driven. It had a kicking sound system. Totally agree. Next, the BMW i7. So the i7 is as close as you can get to driving a Rolls Royce without putting the spirit of ecstasy on the hood. So yes, if you want a car where you can put shades on all the windows except for the front one and sip caviar in the back seat with, some, filtered water or some champagne, this is it. Has a starting price of $105,000 and you get 314 miles of range in a car with a very unique look. And finally, our last nominee is the Porsche Macan EV. So the Porsche Macan EV is the company's first electric SUV. Just like Porsche, it has that great job, has a great character, has that great charging, and a sporting edge provided by an EV. And the winner is, for best luxury EV, there you have it, the Escalade IQ. So yeah, this one was damn fun to drive. So
God.
I mean, it was just it's just so look at the front end on that thing. It's just huge.
The term American land yacht is the best way to describe this car. It embodies everything that you were supposed to like. It embodies all the stuff that you think of when you think old school Cadillac and puts it in a modern EV.
Yep.
It's comfy. It has super plush seats. This one had like a brown leather interior that looked the part. The front end is a mile long. It's just over the top.
Massaging seats
for the
with
sake,
all different
power open and closed doors. It's just over the top for the sake of being over the top.
So if you had a blank check, it would be this.
If I had a need for one, yeah.
If you had a need for one. Don't know, I probably have a better need for it than you do. I do have one more kid than you do. So yeah, mine are a little bit bigger. But I still don't see a need for it. But if I could, dang it, I'd take it.
Most improved.
All right.
This is a fun one. So the goal of this category is a car that in 2025 was better than the 2024 model year. Or better than the last time we drove it.
Yes.
Our first nominee, the Tesla Model Y. So the Tesla Model Y received a refresh known as Juniper for 2026 model year and brought tons of minor changes to the vehicle, as well as some exterior updates. It got a new suspension, it got new brake tuning, it got a refined interior. Those are just a few of the things that happened to it. The Hyundai Ioniq 5. So the Ioniq 5 received a mid-cycle refresh for 2025. It gained a larger battery. It gained a tweaked interior layout. It gained an all-new software stack. There's also now the N model. There's also the N model now, which is a ton of fun.
Yes, it is. Too much fun. Watch that video. We had a blast.
But Tesla Model 3. So the Model 3 got a major overhaul for 2024, although we were late to the celebration. It has a new suspension. It got new exterior design. It has a refined interior. Again, a lot of the same stuff we talked about in Model Y, just on the Model 3. And finally, the Volkswagen ID4. So this is a car that's been pretty continually updated since its launch. And the 2025 Model Y we drove a few months ago was so much better than the 2023 we had driven previously. The software was way better. The car's general tuning seemed more refined. It just was a much more pleasant experience than the kind of bad experience we had in the 2023.
23 was just horrific. I mean, having software cut off in the middle of your drive, can't figure out how to work the ADAS. It was just the old that 2023 ID4 we drove was just bad. It was bad.
And our award for most improved goes to I showed you this yesterday. The picture was there. Hold on, let's try again. It's the 2026 Tesla Model Y. I don't know why the picture didn't load. It's the
Model Y, yes.
Golly, Canva, get it together, man.
You had one job to make the
What's
picture
funny
show
is it's showing it on my other screen. Because I have
what happens when you run a low budget EV award show. All right,
anyway,
why the Model Y?
So it's the 2026 Model Y. So again, minor changes. Completely different car.
Mm-hmm.
The old Model Y, the suspension was kind of horrible. It creaks and rattles and all that. It never truly felt dialed in. All the Model Ys I've been in have never truly felt finished. They've been the best-selling car. They're good cars, but they just never quite felt like they were there. And, you had that 2020, which I understandably was probably the worst version of Model Y because it was the first version. But, I mean, we've driven an even as new as 2024 Model Ys and still felt the suspension was terrible and still felt that there were weird creaks and rattles and just like little things. The 2026 Model Y, the Juniper refresh, completely different car. The suspension was good. The new brake tuning felt fantastic. It's a brake-by-wire system now, and it felt good. It handled fine. FSD is continually getting better and is fantastic on that car. It still has the great software, has an awesome sound system. It was comfortable. Like, it still keeps all the good characteristics of Model Y and what you expect from a Tesla, but actually rides well now.
Totally agree.
Yeah. And I mean, all the other cars, the improvements were great. Model 3, the improvements had a lot of the same improvements, but I didn't think Model 3 was that bad from the beginning. Model 3 has always been, in my opinion, a better car than Model Y. So the uplift wasn't near as big.
Yeah. I totally agree with you on that. Totally agree.
All right.
And the other cars were improved. I mean, you did get an improvement but just not that huge of an improvement like you got with the Y.
Now, don't get me wrong. I love the new Ioniq 5. I love the N model. The N model is a hoot and a half, but I don't feel like the improvements there were as instrumental to the entire car as what we saw
Hyundai didn't
on
need
Model
to make
Y.
that gigantic of an improvement over its original one.
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
Yep.
All right.
And finally,
before we get to our EV of the year, let's talk about our picks. So these are cars that maybe didn't fit into a category, but are just generally one of the favorites that we drove this year. And I'll justify mine, and I'm sure you'll justify yours.
Mm-hmm.
So Sebastian's pick for 2025 is the Volvo EX30. So it's been a while since we drove this one. And I still think about it. No, this one was gray. It's on the screen.
Yellow.
No, ours was gray.
But you like the yellow.
I would want it in moss yellow, which I got rid of, unfortunately.
Yes.
But this car was just, it's such a fun little thing. It is like a little pocket rocket of a car. I mean, it's fast, it's small, it is like, it's still comfortable. It's whatever. Software was kind of trash when we drove it. I'm excited to hopefully drive a newer one soon that has an updated software that is maybe less annoying to deal with.
Mhm.
But like, it is a fun car.
It is.
It's expensive for what it
For what
is,
you get, it's expensive. Yep.
but it is so fun.
It's a hoot. And one thing about Sebastian, he likes his compact
I
EVs. He
like
likes
my
his
little
small.
fun, fast
He
cars.
likes his little. Just give him a Mini Cooper EV. He'll be happy with that. So yeah. So yeah. All right. So
Now
my
it's time for
pick.
Joel's pick.
It may not be that surprising. My pick was the Rivian R1T. So out of all the cars we drove this year, we drove a lot. I mean, you think about it, we had a new review come out almost every Monday. Almost every Monday. So we probably drove 30 to 40 new EVs this year. Some old, some new, but just total. So we had a lot to experience from. This one it just screamed everything I want. The software was great. The ride quality was great. It just felt good to drive. I am kind of a truck person. I came from trucks before I got into my Tesla and then my Kia EV6. So trucks always have a thing in my heart, even though I don't do anything truck related with them. I don't haul, I don't tow, I don't do anything like that. I just like, how you sit in a truck a little up higher and everything like that. I just like it. And the R1T has it all for the price. The looks are awesome. As you see, this awesome front light bar on those front headlights. It just screams everything that you like about an EV. Plus, if you think Tesla has the best software, right behind it is Rivian software, which is, very close to what you would want in a software in an EV. So that is why that is my pick.
Yeah, I love the R1T. Again,
Yes.
as we mentioned before, we would both buy one in a heartbeat. So,
In a heartbeat. Yes.
all right. And finally, let's talk
I'll
about
let you do
EV
this
of the
one,
year.
Sebastian.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, just as a note, we aren't going to go through any nominees on this one because basically anything that's been on the slide so far is a nominee for EV of the year.
Yes.
That's why they
So
were
you're
in
not
the
going to see a
category. That's why
Toyota
they were nominated,
BZ4X pop
whatever.
up on here, right?
Right. And there's not
Yeah.
like a list of finalists for EV of the year. You can kind of think of everything we've talked about already as a finalist type situation. Let's not draw it out too long. What is the EV of the year? We chose. Please show the picture.
It did not.
What the
It doesn't like
heck?
that picture. It doesn't like that picture. So if we had issue with the picture before, what is the best EV of the year, Sebastian?
The 2026 Tesla Model Y.
It is the Model Y, yes. So
I
and
understand this might be a controversial take. I do.
Mm-hmm.
But if the Model Y was kind of already the de facto car anyway, right? The EV, like when people say they're buying an EV, it was kind of the one that people tend to lean towards anyway. And it's proven by being one of the best selling EVs in the world for multiple years. The fact that the 2026 is such a superior car to the 2025 Model Y, I mean, it kind of makes it a no brainer. It is one of the best cars you can buy right now, just period. For what you get, to get the software, it's a complete package. You get Tesla supercharging, you get plug and charge on a gigantic network like that. You get FSD, you get excellent software, you get good seat materials, you get now a good ride quality, you get good driving dynamics, it's just such a good package now. And really the pricing's not too terrible. It's like, yes, 45 grand starting for the premium trim, which that's where you have to start in my opinion. I wouldn't even look at the standard.
Nope.
Standard doesn't get the new suspension. It gets so much stuff stripped out of it. I just wouldn't look at it. So if you're looking at
it looks weird
$45,000
too
starting,
on the it looks
yeah,
weird.
I don't love it.
Yep.
So if you're looking at the premium, which starts at 45 grand for the rear wheel drive model, which is what we drove, and it just, I can't. I mean, even at that price, you get for all the stuff you get on the premium trim. It's hard to beat.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, when we we test drove this recently. It was last month in we were in Dallas, and I wasn't expecting that much as a Model Y. And I was expecting, it's one of those, it's not a good, it's not a good upgrade or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, there's your picture, Sebastian. There you go.
I just needed
So
to
yeah, it
prove that it
looks,
was there.
yes. You go back and do it for all those now. So yeah, it was just, I got in and we were like, holy this is a lot better. Like the suspension was great. We even went down a horrible road that had potholes the size of small children, and it drove great. I mean, it drove great. You felt the pothole, but it wasn't like the other old
You
Model
didn't
Ys. If you hit a
crash.
pothole,
It
you didn't hit your
Yeah,
head on
it
the ceiling
managed it.
glass. It managed it very well. And of those, and we tried not to make it to Model Y, but
We
after looking at
deliberated.
all of
We
them,
really did.
we deliberated. We tried, like, if you think about it, well, there's this. We're like, well, if you think about it, it's the Model Y, it's the refresh Model Y. It's still a beast, and you can't blame anyone else for that. It's just a really good car.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Sebastian, any final thoughts to our award show?
Yeah, let us know what y'all think about this, because I'd love
Yes.
to keep doing it. This is our second year doing it now. We took a kind of a almost completely different feel and vibe this year than we did last year. We brought up tuxedo shirts. We did a full-fledged slideshow that Canva decided not to show pictures in for some reason.
We made it a little
Sorry,
cheesier
Canva.
for you this year. Yes.
Sorry,
But for those
Canva.
listening
If you
on
see
audio
this,
platforms,
fix your software.
Yeah, but if those listening on audio platforms, you didn't miss much because there's the pictures didn't show up that well. So,
yeah, if you made it this far, I'd love to hear what you think. What are your opinions? What did we get right? What did we get wrong? I'm all ears. I would love to hear what other people think.
That's right. And that's a wrap for the EV Geek Studios Best EVs of 2025 Awards. Huge thanks for hanging out with us and celebrating another year of innovation, breakthroughs, and some seriously impressive electric machines. If you enjoyed today's episodes, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell on YouTube. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever your audio platform you use, tap that follow button and leave us a quick rating. It really helps the show grow. Got your own picks, as Sebastian said, for Best EV of 2025? Disagree with any of today's winners, which you probably will, and we want to hear about it? Drop your thoughts in the comments or hit us up on social. We love hearing what the EV Geek community thinks. Thanks for plugging in with us today. From all of us here at EV Geek Studios, which is just me and Sebastian, we are Joel and Sebastian, and we'll catch up with you on the next episode. So long, everyone, and have a happy and safe new year.